Welcome back to Bright Ideas from Acuity Brands on IndustrialSage. Today we are joined by the Executive Director of Electri International, a research and education organization for the electrical construction industry. Josh Bone joins us to talk about an updated economic outlook for our electrical distributors and contractors. Josh, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's wonderful to be here, Catherine.
So first, tell us a little bit more about Electri, what the organization is and what they do.
So Electri's been around for 32 years and conducting research for 32 years, and it's completely free to everyone. Anyone can go to electri.org and download any of our research, and it's specifically designed for the electrical contracting profession. 32 years ago, a group of contractors got together and said, we need to look at what the future of this industry is, and we want to invest in that, and that's what came about as was Electri. Then, over time, we have evolved into a much more educational side of this and reaching out to try to attract people into the industry. So research and recruiting people into the industry is a big portion of what we do at the foundation. Great.
And so you do an economic outlook every year, and what are some of the key indicators that you're looking at right now?
There's a number of factors that we look at. One of the things we're always looking at is the Architectural Billing Index. Good news, Architectural Billing Index in February jumped from 44.9% to 53.3%, which is a really good sign that the design work is coming back. We pay a lot of attention to what the AGC is doing and look at their economic impact, but for us, we lean heavily on our labor hours. We've got a lot of information from over 4,000 contractors that are NECA members that are part of our NEBF, our National Electrical Benefits Fund, so we can get good visibility into what work is happening around the country, dissect that, and look at trends.
Okay, so we're heading into the second half of 2021. What are we seeing so far?
There's still a lot of uncertainty. It's very hard to forecast what's going to happen right now, but I have seen a big shift coming out of January into February, a lot of optimism. We're seeing a lot of our contractors, that backlog starting to fill up again. They're staying very busy. So I'm very bullish on the market. I think Q3 and Q4 of this year is going to be very strong and set us up to have a very strong year in 2022.
Great. That's good news.
It is. It is. I'm optimistic. And each month it continues to get better. So
before we go into some of those opportunities, what are some maybe specific areas of concern?
You know, there's without a doubt, labor shortage, labor shortage, labor shortage. It's been an issue for us even during the downtimes in 2020. That labor shortage is still going to be a challenge for our contractors and the industry as a whole. There's just not enough people to do the work. So that's something that we're going to have to continue to deal with. There's going to be other factors in the market too. Hospitality, it's going to be tough for hospitality to rebound. It's going to be tough for some of the amusement parks and some of those things to come back in. But I think industrial work is going to end up going very well for us the rest of this year into 2022. Manufacturing's looking good. Warehousing, the distribution markets are strong. There's a lot of areas of optimism, while there's a few areas of uncertainty. And
so the labor shortage is really kind of that peak of where you're concerned. But we could flip it to an opportunity. Lots of people coming, out of high school, out of college. This is a great opportunity for them to capitalize.
It is. It's an amazing opportunity. Right now in the construction industry, I think the American dream is still alive and well. The ability to move upwards in a company. You can start off as an office administration and you can be the CEO 20 years from now. Or you can start as an apprentice, go up through the apprenticeship. I have plenty of my friends that I work with that are running $100 million annual electrical contracting businesses that came up through the apprenticeship program. I absolutely believe construction has so much to offer with that upward mobility that it's not based off where you went to school. It's not based off a lot of other factors. It's who you are, how hard you're willing to work and put in the time.
Yeah.
Yes, all experience goes a long way.
Great. And so let's segue into those opportunities you were talking about.
So right now, one of the things I'm a big advocate for electrical contracting is shifting from a commodity to a consultant. There's all these new emerging technologies. If you look at the Acuity products that are out there today, that technology requires a certain skill set. So what I believe electrical contractors should do is shift from being who's the cheapest and the fastest, who wants to live in that space forever.
Right.
Let's shift and become a consultant. Let's leverage data. Let's look at the service aspects and let's make sure that we're not only getting the design and construction aspects of the project, let's get the service aspects and help that building be a renewable and sustainable building for a long period of time. I think with the data, when we're in there installing equipment and lighting and other
sensors,
factors,
controls,
yes, use that as an opportunity to grab a hold of that data to be a part of that building for its entire life cycle. And I see a tremendous opportunity around electrification, and we're going to continue to see that. So there's an abundance of opportunity there around all this emerging tech that the electrical contractors really need to lean into and make sure that that's a big part of their business going forward.
And you mentioned the infrastructure side. What are some of the opportunities coming out of that?
Still, we're keeping a very close eye on that. We have a large group that sits on Capitol Hill and is involved in our government affairs. So we're really working closely right now with the current administration to make sure that there's a good portion of that aspect that goes towards smart cities, smart buildings, smart infrastructure that is tied to that electrification. So it's a little uncertainty, but I feel really good about what we're hearing right now from our IBEW partners and what they're seeing and the conversations they're having with the administration.
Great. So if you could summarize for our distributor and contractor friends out there, what do you think is the most important thing to take away for the second half of the 2021?
So learn as much as you can. Really start to look at ways that you can specialize and diversify your business. Today, having all your eggs in one basket, that proved in 2020, that's not where you want to be. The diversification of work is a good thing because it usually moves you from a commodity into these other areas, whether you're doing alarm systems, whether you're specializing in low voltage or lighting controls. Those are great areas that you can grow your business and have a lot more control in how the owners and general contractors see you as a partner as opposed to who's going to do it the cheapest and fastest. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there around diversification. And a couple of other things that people really need to be paying attention to right now is increasing their productivity. What's the future of electrical contracting? A lot of that's off-site. How do you work with your partners, the manufacturers, your suppliers, your distributors? How do you partner with them more closely going forward to give yourself a competitive advantage? You need that knowledge of the manufacturers and distributors early in the process, getting them involved on some of these more complex jobs and showing that you're a team. I think it can help our contractors get a significant competitive advantage when they start to make sure they're working together as a team because the technology is changing so fast,
That
Catherine.
is very true.
They can't keep up with it. So.
Well, that's really great advice. I appreciate you coming in today and sharing all this information.
My pleasure.
And check out our next episode. We are going to meet the newly appointed president of Acuity Brands Lighting. He sits down with us to give his outlook and perspective. Please join us.